Hi, and welcome to the Mike and Travis Sports Podcast. My name is Travis.
And my name is Mike, and today was the MLB deadline for trades, the non-waiver deadline, that is. And the Red Sox were very active today, making a number of trades. We're actually just going to go right through it today and get Travis and my reaction on the trades that were made. All right,
Yep.
so the first one and the biggest trade that was made today, Jon Lester, Jonny Gomes, and some cash money were traded to the Oakland A's, aka the Oakland Red Sox, for Yoenis Cespedes. Travis, can we get your thoughts on this trade?
Well, Yoenis Cespedes is the two-in-a-row home run derby champion. He repeated this year. Last person to do that was Ken Griffey Jr. Not putting him in the same class, just stating what you guys probably know him from. Yoenis Cespedes is usually a left fielder for the Oakland Athletics. Has a really good arm. He's the only player in the MLB that's above Jackie Bradley Jr. right now in outfield assists. People were joking around saying that we got the better arm of the deal, and I thought that was kind of funny. But obviously, it's sad to see that Jon Lester's gone. Jon Lester has been a really important part to our Red Sox organization, not only for his pitching, but his community and stuff like that. This is coming from the guy. You couldn't ask for a better guy than Jon Lester pitching on your team. But, hearing a lot of rumors that he's going to be coming back. I hope so. And the fact that technically if we do get him back, it'd be just trading Jonny Gomes for Yoenis Cespedes. And I think that's a pretty good robbery from our part. In my opinion, Jonny Gomes was good while he was here, only against lefties. He batted about 300 against lefties, maybe a little bit more, but he struggled a lot versus righties. He was a specialty kind of player. I don't see where he'd fit in the Oakland athletic system, but that doesn't matter to us since we're Red Sox fans. I can see Yoenis Cespedes playing left field tomorrow. No problem. So I can't wait to see that. Going to be sad not to see Jon Lester on the mound now.
Yeah, basically I spent all last night on Jon Lester watch, and even my first few hours at work today I was on Jon Lester watch, basically just trying to find out what was going to happen. I was so sad, I really didn't want to see him go. I'm still kind of sad about it, but getting Cespedes in return with still the potential of Lester coming back in the offseason, that might not happen because of the fact that we kind of really downplayed the contract offer we offered him. But even to have that chance back, Cespedes is making our defense and offensive outfield both a little bit better. We went from having one of the worst outfields in the game into probably one of the top half now, you got to think. It gives us a little bit of power. Cespedes is able to hit over that monster. Like Travis mentioned, he's a two-time home run derby champion, which definitely fits well in a shorter ballpark in left field like Boston. You might see a lot of doubles off the monster. You might see a lot of shots over the monster, maybe hitting them down onto the street underneath.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. See, the thing with Jonny Gomes is, to me though, I liked him as far as a clubhouse guy. He was funny, kind of not that great of a player, but he definitely gave a lot to the team as far as teammate chemistry. Most people liked him. It was the same way kind of with Jake Peavy, Stephen Drew type thing, where a lot of players liked him in the locker room. But giving up Jonny Gomes, Lester, and for Cespedes, I think will end up working out better for the Red Sox in the long end. But you don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. There's still a lot of time left, and we're still in the middle of the season. We're already looking towards next season. So we don't really know what will end up happening.
Yeah, and the thing is, the only question I see about Cespedes is how he's going to fit in our locker room. It's going to be pretty awkward for him, I think, for a little bit for the first couple games, knowing that, oh, you're the guy that traded for one of our best pals, Jon Lester. I'm pretty sure David Ortiz would be probably the best person he's probably going to be able to hang out with, probably to get him back into the system. David Ortiz and him, they seem like friendly at the home run derby. But other than that, I think that Jon Lester has a good chance of coming back just because of the fact that there's been rumors, that there's one, but also people were tweeting at him saying, I hope you come back next year, and he was favoriting those tweets. So I'm not sure if it's still in his mind. But I don't know. If the A's win the World Series, I wouldn't see why not, why he wouldn't want to re-sign with the A's. I'm not pretty sure they can't afford him, but, it would be cool to see that if the A's, salary dump some people for Jon Lester to re-sign with them.
Yeah, I really don't see the A's signing him, unfortunately, just because they have been really known for not paying a lot of guys. They have a small salary to work with. I honestly end up seeing it being a kind of a bidding war between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And if it comes down to that, I bet you Jon Lester takes that hometown discount that he was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
people,
go ahead.
at first the hometown discount was like significantly like that's when people saw like the 5 year 70 mil. They're like, oh, John Lester, that's hometown. That's not a home. That's a robbery. You're robbing John Lester about $30 million at least there. And the hometown discount people don't understand is like, let's say the Yankees offer him 5 years, $120 million, right? Okay, that's about what if the market could give him. If the Red Sox offer him 5 mil, 110, that's a hometown discount. That's taking $10 million less dollars. $10 million is a lot different than $30 million.
Yeah. But once you get up to that much money, that $10 million might seem like a huge thing, a big deal for us. That's really a chump change to somebody who's making over 100 mil.
Yeah.
But yeah, really on to the next trade. We'll go through this one. Red Sox traded John Lackey, who was our number 2 pitcher this year and was a big part of the pitching staff last year during the playoff run, for St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Joe Kelly and first baseman / outfielder Alan Craig. Travis, your thoughts?
Joe Kelly is what I've been hearing from a couple Cardinals fans is okay. We saw a little bit of him in the World Series. He was the one that wore the glasses. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he's not a bad pitcher. He has some good stuff. Probably better. Probably behind. He's probably the best pitcher that we're going to have on the team besides Buchholz, in my opinion. I think Buchholz is going to pitch it better than him, even though Buchholz is struggling. But he's not that bad. He's a young arm. I can see him being right in the rotation right now, and they actually did probably announce that he's going to be in the rotation. I think Cherington announced that. But I think he's going to be in a decent arm. I'm not sure if he's going to be trade bait for another team over the offseason, if he's going to have like a solid role in the team, but I think we got good value. He wasn't like a prospect. He was a player that was playing for the Cardinals at the moment. So that's why I think that was a good deal out of that. And we also got Alan Craig. Alan Craig is a right fielder and a first baseman, I believe. I most likely will probably see him in right field probably tomorrow because Shane Victorino is going to be DL, as of course, because I'm sick of him. I won't say anything else. I'm just talking about Shane Victorino. But Alan Craig has a good bat. He's a power hitter. I'm not sure how well he'll do at Fenway. I believe he's a left-handed hitter, so that might give him a little bit of struggles. But other than that, he's a doubles machine, is from what I hear. Last year, I think he led the league in doubles. So that'd be nice. I could use some extra base hits on our team.
Yeah. So basically, my thoughts on this one. John Lackey, for what we gave him all that crap in his first couple of years here, he really made up for it last year with what a great showing he had later down in the stretch and early in the postseason, even later in the postseason. He was one of those great players that you like to see that comes out and gives it all, and you could see it on the mound. He was very intense, very emotional. Whenever he gave up a run or a big hit in a clutch situation, he got mad, and it was something that was definitely interesting to see. But if you look at him, the whole thing with Lackey is he's not getting the run support. So he's definitely a good pitcher, and for us to get rid of him was kind of sad because like he's a better pitcher. But if you look at his stats this year, he's 11-7, 3.6 ERA. His strikeouts are 7.6 per 9 innings, which it's pretty decent. Like you look at him, he's having a pretty good season. It's just he's not getting a ton of run support. It's just not there for him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what happened to Lackey, and that's why he got traded. And then you bring in someone like Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly right now is 2 for 2. 2-2 in 7 games started. He has a 4.37 ERA. The ERA is a little high up there. He's coming into a team that really doesn't have a ton of power on the offense and a ton of capability to score runs. That might change with everybody coming in today, but you never really know. It's really kind of a developmental project basically for him to work in the next upcoming years. I could see him being a back-of-the-end rotation guy next year, especially depending on what they want to do with starting pitching. There are plenty of free agents that they're able to get, and we have a bunch of players down in AAA and AA who are willing to come up and give a little bit of work. As far as Alan Craig goes, I'm actually a very big Alan Craig supporter. Nothing specific about him that I love. He can hit for a little bit of power. He has 7 home runs this year, which is down for what he normally does. He had 22 in 2012, 13 last year. His numbers are down a little bit, but if you look at him overall, he's someone who can provide a little bit more little bit more offense than someone like Shane Victorino, or even if they decide that they don't want to bring back Ortiz at that kind of money, I would actually be completely fine with that. You move Napoli, maybe you move Napoli to DH, move either him to first or Middlebrooks to first and keep him in right or do something. But that gives you a little bit more of an idea of what you're able to do next year when you have somebody who is a stable offensive player in the National League, and hopefully it translates pretty well to the American League.
Yeah, and I think the thing with people are expecting is to see Red Sox going after all these outfielders, saying like, okay, why didn't we do this before? Why didn't we try to go for this like in the offseason last year, or at the beginning of this year? Well, because we didn't have the opportunity to last year. Ben Sherrington legit said we should not be celebratory about this. We should literally be. This is literally just a last ditches effort just to get anything out of any of our players because that's how bad we're playing. And with Alan Craig, I can see him probably being right field for the rest of the year. I don't think Shane Victorino should even play for the rest of the year. That's just my honest opinion. At this point, you're wasting time just putting him in games because he's just going to keep getting hurt. And I hate to say, like, Shane Victorino's a good guy, but at the same time, you got to stay healthy, dude. Like, just play a couple games without getting hurt. That's all I ask. And right now, it seems that the starting lineup probably tomorrow they're probably going to have Middlebrooks at third, Bogaerts at short, Pedroia at second, Napoli at first, Vasquez or Ross catching. I'm going to guess Vasquez since Ross literally is pointless on this team now that Lester's gone. So then you'll have Cespedes in left, Bradley in center, and then possibly Craig or Nava in right, I'd probably say. And then having Ortiz play the DH with Renato on the mound tomorrow.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Victorino is somehow somehow is gone from this team. I wouldn't be surprised because the trading deadline is passed, but it's the non-waiver deadline. So you could technically still trade him if he's able to drop through the waivers. That's the big rumor
right now that Shane Victorino is going to be dealt during the waiver trade deadline. And I hope so. Honestly, if we can get anything out of Shane Victorino, it'd be nice. It's gonna be. He's a nice guy, you know. He's a fan favorite. Really good piece of the team last year, but that's because he stayed healthy for more than 100 games. And I think what has he played, like a total of 8 games this year?
Yeah, he's been on the decline this year, unfortunately, because like you said, he was a fan favorite. And really, if you look at the whole team last year, it's not even just because they won the World Series. A lot of the guys were just likable guys, and you're seeing them go, which kind of sucks. On to the next trade that we had. Like I said, they were very active today. The Red Sox traded relief pitcher Andrew Miller for the Orioles' Double-A prospect Eduardo Gonzalez. Travis, what are your thoughts on this trade?
Well, I don't know much about Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know who he is. I've been hearing that he's one of the Orioles' top prospects. I heard number 3. Which I don't think that's what you can get for Andrew Miller, but we're going to go with it. And Andrew Miller is a great relief pitcher, and the Orioles definitely helped out their bullpen a lot by picking him up. But again, I've also been hearing rumors or seeing rumors on Twitter that Andrew Miller might sign with us again, but I doubt it. There's no way that he's going to want Red Sox money. If we're going to go after Lester especially, I don't see him wanting to come back. But if he does, that'll be nice. Other than that, I think that he was actually the most popular player out of any players that we dealt. He got the most phone calls out of any player, which doesn't surprise me because teams are always looking for relief pitchers. You know, there's plenty of teams that have starting pitching for contenders. That's why they're contenders. But he was definitely a hot commodity with a lot of teams because every team needs relief pitching. You know, not every relief pitcher you have in your team is going to be good.
Exactly. Did I say Rodriguez Gonzalez again or Rodriguez?
I brought it up earlier. I said Gonzalez and you kept it in your head.
Dang. All right. So is Eduardo Rodriguez. Sorry, it's gonna keep sticking in my head. I'm gonna keep saying Gonzalez.
Eduardo Rodriguez. It helps.
Rodriguez. There you go. That's a little better. There is actually a player named Eduardo Gonzalez. That's why it's in my head. So basically, in my mind, Andrew Miller, looking up his statistics, actually really surprised me. Andrew Miller is 3-5, which for a relief pitcher, it's not that bad. In 50 appearances, he has a 2.34 ERA. That ERA really surprised me. That's one thing I didn't expect to see from him at all. I really feel like he's given up more runs than he should have, or felt like he did give up more runs than he actually did. But he is definitely a good end of the end of the string guy who is able to come in and hold for someone like Koji, or when he's in Baltimore, I don't even remember who the closer is now. It was Jim Johnson, but it's definitely not anymore. But he's able to come in and do something like that for them, which was a good pickup for them. And we have a bunch of pitchers who are able to do that. Like you look at Junichi, and you're able to see that maybe he is able to step into that role and keep doing what he's doing. Not really so much with Mujica, because I can't stand the guy and I think he's awful. But looking for from the other side, us getting Eduardo Rodriguez in return. Let's see, this year, 3-7 in his 16 starts, which is not that good at all. 69 strikeouts, 44 earned runs. Basically, he's given up 5 home runs. He's 21 years old. He's been in the farm system of the Orioles since he was 17, which is kind of crazy. But basically, he's what you'd expect to get in return for Andrew Miller.
Yeah, they're not going to give you very much for a relief pitcher. So.
Yeah, it was a relief pitcher. We got a possible project guy to bring up, and he's in Double-A, so we probably won't see him for a few years if we do at all anyway. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he got traded before he even came up again. But it's definitely something you'd expect to get for Andrew Miller.
As much as we saw Andrew Miller perform to a high level, you're not getting him a lot for a relief pitcher. I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Especially not for like a lockdown relief pitcher. Like, don't get me wrong, that ERA was impressive, but he's not striking fear in the eyes of other players.
I don't like a Jake Peavy kind of player. Like, the team doesn't score runs for him.
Yeah. The last trade that happened today, the Red Sox traded Stephen Drew to the Yankees for Kelly Johnson. Just a quick note before I throw this over to Travis. This is the first time since 1997 the Red Sox and Yankees have traded together. But go ahead. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. But at the same time, nobody's a happier man in the world than me right now. Let's just talk about this, all right? You guys know that you've never met a bigger Stephen Drew hater than me. A Drew hater in general. As much as JD, Stephen Drew exceeded levels of JD Drew hatred. All right, this guy literally might have ruined a career of a starting shortstop named Xander Bogaerts. Like, there's a good chance. Unless Xander Bogaerts, now that he's going to be playing shortstop, goes.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't know if Jackson planned this or the fact that he was going to sign Drew just so he could trade him at the trade deadline. Because if it was that, then Ben Cherington. If Ben Cherington did this straightly because he said he wanted Stephen Drew back, then he's an idiot. And that's how it really worked. And everybody can say that, switching positions doesn't make a difference. Blah, blah, blah. It does for Xander Bogaerts. All right? When you're 21 years old, you don't expect to just be like, you're the main guy now. You're going to play shortstop, your position you've been playing your entire career. The only reason why you played third base last year is because you had Drew. Don't worry about it. You're going to be the starting shortstop. Then suddenly you have a shortstop there that's not you. And, that definitely flusters you, okay? Like, you can say that it does. It's the way it happened, all right? I can understand, like, if Stephen Drew was hurt on the DL on our team and they had Bogaerts playing shortstop because of that. That's different, all right? They invested everything they had into Bogaerts, and then they gave up. Like, I don't understand it. But thank God Stephen Drew's gone. He was driving me insane. Fielding or not, okay, I don't care. Hit. That's what we need to hit the ball. We're not losing games because we have bad fielding. We're losing because we can't hit. All right, if you add all of our combined averages for our players, we probably have the worst batting average in the league. That's how bad we're hitting. And it doesn't help the fact that but we have defense. Cool. Xander Bogaerts can play some defense. All right, not Drew caliber, but he can play defense. He can't make that throw from third to first. We saw that, and that's why getting Middlebrooks back is going to help. Very little, because Middlebrooks not very good either, but still better than Bogaerts at third base. All right, and then you have to think about this. We also have Garen Cicchini coming up probably next year. We have Devin Marrero, who could probably be a shortstop too, but he can probably play both. I've been hearing rumors that he's just going to be like a Mookie Betts kind of player. I don't know what the hell the Red Sox are doing. I don't know why we draft so many infield players in the draft. We're all outfielders. We have Bryce Brents, who I is apparently supposed to be the next thing, but I haven't heard anything from him in 3 months. And I know I'm getting off topic here, but still, I had to go on a rant there. Stephen Drew, he won a ring with us. I can't say he did nothing for us. He did have a decent batting average during the regular season last year, which I was hoping that when he came back was going to happen, but I knew it was not going to happen. But other than that, we won a ring with him. We can't be too mad with him. Kelly Johnson, he's like a platoon kind of player. Kind of plays a little bit of everything. I haven't heard much of him. I think he played for the Blue Jays a long time ago, unless I'm thinking of a different Kelly Johnson.
Nope, same guy.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's where I remember him from. And I remember him playing for the Braves a couple games, but
Yep, that also. So my point of view from this whole trade, Stephen Drew, I was not a fan. How can you be a fan of somebody who bats under 100? It's not possible. You can't.
And then no, you also can't be a fan of somebody that you know that you can bat better than.
Exactly. You can't. Stephen Drew, great defensive player. Great defensive player. There has to be some middle ground. You have to be able to bat more than 100. That's ridiculous. Let's see. Stephen Drew this year batted, if I can find it, can't find it. Okay, 176. So that's more than 100. It's not good. It's awful. 176.
I could bat better than that.
That's terrible.
I can bat better than that.
That's terrible. Stephen Drew did one good thing offensively last year, and that was hit a home run or a grand slam or whatever it was in the postseason after the game was already basically won. he has not done anything since then, and even then that was one quiet little blip in whatever he's done in his Red Sox career.
He did it when we needed it in that game. Maybe J.D. Drew counted. J.D. Drew hit a grand slam against Cleveland where it was a tie game in Game 7 to win that game. So that's a little different.
And you look at Steven, and there is a difference between playing short and playing third. You don't call it the hot corner for nothing. The reaction time that it takes to play third base is so hard. The fact that there are players that can do it at such a high caliber, like Longoria's been doing it forever. David Wright's been doing it pretty consistently. Machado's coming up right now, and he's got the range, he's got the reaction time, he's got the arm. You have to have a lot of things to play third base. When you play shortstop, you do have to have the range. You do have to have pretty good reaction time, but it's nothing like playing third base. So shortstop, you're a little bit more moving around. Third base, you're more up, down, left, right. When you're shortstop, you have to run. You have to be able to cover, which is what Xander can do. He is a little bit bigger, so that's why I expected him to be a little bit better at third, but he just doesn't have the reaction time that he should in order to play third. So I could see him, if he slides back to shortstop, and please tell me he does, that he will be able to slide back in there, and he doesn't have to think about the defensive problems he was having. He can go back to having a stellar offensive performance, being able to draw walks, being able to hit, having a cold blood sense of mentality right up at the plate.
Yeah.
He needs to be back at short. And then, like you said, you have Cicchini coming back up at third base. You have Middlebrooks back. You have Morero coming up on the left side of the infield. Whatever you want to do with any of those guys, trade them. I don't care. Do something. But you have to be able to have a good starting infield, and that's something they've been lacking a little bit this year because of Stephen Drew being there and Bogart sliding over and having a problem playing third. But if you look at from the other side, like Kelly Johnson this year is batting .219, which isn't Stephen Drew like, but he has 21 runs, 9 doubles, 6 home runs, 50 strikeouts, which isn't terrible, I guess. But like you said, he is a player that comes in every once in a while. He's not a great player. He doesn't play every single day. He plays when he's needed to give someone else a break. He's kind of like a poor man's Brock Holt, which is hard to say because Brock Holt's not making that much money.
He's legit Jonathan Herrera in white form.
He might be Jonathan Herrera. He could be Ben Zobrist, but Ben Zobrist actually plays every day, even though he plays every position. He could be like a Jerry Hairston Jr. throwback 2005.
He plays games for the Yankees because there's nobody else.
And Kelly Johnson's actually a little older than I thought. How old do you think he is, if you had to guess right now? 32 exactly. That's crazy. He played with Atlanta, he played with Arizona, he played with Toronto, he played with Tampa, he played with New York, and now he's playing with us.
So he's literally playing with every single team in the AL East except Baltimore.
Yeah, basically. He's been all over the place. I wouldn't expect him to make a huge impact on the team because you really do have Brock Holt being the number one being the number one, what do they call it, utility player, where they can play really anything and give players a day off. And that's what I think you're going to see from Brock Holt. I don't think Kelly Johnson does a whole lot for this team. Maybe he's just another piece. Maybe you don't know what's going on in Ben Cherington's mind. He's an evil genius, and it's great.
This is weird. Like, we are so used to, like, we know Danny Ainge is usually the evil genius, but now apparently it's Ben Cherington has taken the title.
Ben Cherington and Bill Belichick and Trader Danny, just the evil geniuses of Boston.
What's his name? Jeremy whatever. What's his last name?
Who, the Bruins guy?
Jeremy what?
I can't remember his last name. He's the guy who owns the Bills now, right? Or he's the guy he wants to own the Bills. Jeremy Jacobs.
Yeah, Jeremy Jacobs. And then what's their GM's name?
Chiarelli?
Yeah, Peter Chiarelli. Yeah, there you go. Peter Chiarelli's the other evil genius too.
Yes. So you don't know what's in Ben Cherington's back pocket. Maybe he trades Kelly Johnson. Maybe he trades Victorino. Maybe he trades Marrero. I have no idea what he's gonna do. The guy is willing to do whatever it takes to try to win. The thing is with Cherington, he had a World Series. Okay, that's great. You had one World Series win, but you've also had 2 last place teams in your 3 years here. 2 last place teams, 1 World Series team. Some people would take the trade-off, but if we're gonna keep going last place, first place, last place, first place, I don't really know how interested everybody's
I'll take the roller coaster ride. I'll be honest. If we're winning World Series every other year, it don't matter to me.
Oh my God, I can't deal with that. But
what? All right, the Patriots haven't won a World Series, Super Bowl in 10 years. You know, I'll take it.
Hey, it's bound to happen eventually.
That's what we said 10 years ago.
Hey, 19-0, all right? That's all we need to talk about. All right, so basically we wanted to just keep going over, we wanted to go over those trades real quick. A sad day for myself, at least, seeing Jon Lester walk away and Hacksaw Johnny Gomes. But on a lighter note, the Red Sox have turned over a new leaf and they're ready to begin their train to destiny, the train to another World Series ring eventually.
World Series champs, Boston Red Sox.
I wouldn't even be surprised. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, tuning in today. Hopefully, we'll have a new episode coming up soon. We're both trying to get to the new Patriots in-stadium practice for season ticket holders tomorrow. We both have work, so we're trying to get out of that. So keep your fingers crossed on us going there and having a good time watching some players. And we'll have a blog for you guys. Probably not tomorrow night, maybe Saturday instead, or something along those lines, just because by the time we get out, it will probably be a little bit later.
Saturday morning, if you're going to see one. Yes,
if we do go, it will be Saturday morning. But we'll probably write a blog post either way. So once again, our Twitter at BeantownSports5, at JTAlden11, at Masala_bro. Facebook.com/BeantownSports5. The blog is beantownsports.sportsblog.com. 3 times in a row. This is crazy. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We've been getting some pretty decent amount of viewership on YouTube, which is crazy for us to see. We don't really, on our old channel, we are getting like 7 views a day or something like that. We're up on a couple of our videos, and a couple of our videos were up past 100. So that's great for us to see, and we're definitely getting up there in viewership on our blog too. Don't worry, we'll be coming with more posts soon enough. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring in somebody else because we're, like we said, we're pretty busy, so we're gonna try to get as much content to you guys as we possibly can.
And if you do follow us on Twitter, let us know that you read the blog, so we can definitely follow you back. Because I feel kind of bad if some of you are following me and I don't know if you guys read our blog or not. But other than that. If you really like the videos, let us know. We'll keep doing videos instead of posts, but I do like writing sometimes. You know, it's a lot easier to write sometimes than it is to explain it in vocal form. But definitely, if you follow any of us on Twitter, tweet at us. Let us know any ideas that you have that we can do for the show. Let us know if you're a fan. And if any of our followers, if you guys do blogs and stuff like that, we'll be glad to look at them as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to help you guys out. We'll share some of your links or something, or if you guys want to come on the show, let us know. We're down to really do whatever. But for that, my name's Mike.
And I'm Travis.
And we're ready. We're ready for the new barrage of Red Sox to begin. We're ready for Patriots football.
This is it though. It is Patriot season now. When 4 o'clock hit, it was Patriot season.
Exactly.
All right.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching. Later.
Thank you very much, guys.